Well, this is the first segment in a series, and this one is The Mystery of Emotions. I'm Dr. Michael Edelstein, a clinical psychologist, and I'm in conversation with my colleague and co-author, Will Ross, also expert in REBT. And we'll be looking at the structure of emotions. And the first point that we'd like to discuss is that the intuitive view of emotions is that they come from situations. So the situation you find yourself in and you react to emotionally comes from what the situation does for you and creates the emotion in you.
That's right, Michael. If we can provide an example, it might make it easier for people to grasp this very, very important point. And that is that most people believe that their emotions come from the situation that they're in. If we take an example of say, somebody being called into their boss's office, they might feel anxious about having to go into the boss's office. And then they believe that their anxiety that they're feeling is caused by being called into the boss's office. But as we'll show later on, that's not necessarily the case.
Yes, in fact, that's an error. To say the situation caused my emotion really leads you in the wrong direction if you want to have some power and control over your emotions. And even therapists make this mistake. So it's not uncommon for a therapist to say, the reason you feel jealous is because your husband cheated on you. Or the reason you were angry is because the boss unfairly criticized you. Or the reason you're depressed is because you just got fired from the job. Misinformed views of how emotions are generated.
And it's very easy to demonstrate that this is a misinformed view. If you consider a situation where you've got 100 different people all being called into their boss's office, they're all not going to feel exactly the same. Some might be anxious, some might feel angry, some might feel embarrassed, some might feel happy about it. And those emotional reactions can happen not just between different people, but also within the same person. The same person could feel any one of those emotions. So it demonstrates that it's not the situation of being called into the boss's office or any other situation for that matter that causes our emotions. There's something else going on.
And this is very good news, because if it was a situation, getting fired or being cut off in traffic, if those things made you angry or depressed, then you'd be sort of helpless in terms of changing your emotion, because it would mean changing the situation. However, in the next segment, we will go on and explain to you where emotions really come from and how you can change that.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to know that you can change your emotions, because some emotions are more helpful than others. For example, if you're really, really angry about something, it's difficult to make changes. In fact, you may make the situation worse. If you're annoyed about a situation that you don't like, that annoyance could motivate you to make changes if changes are possible. Whereas if you're angry, all you're going to do is kick the cat and have a temper tantrum, and that's not really going to solve your problem. It's just going to make things worse. But we'll talk about that some more later on.
Yes, we'll delve much more deeply into where emotions come from, the structure and elements of emotions. So stay tuned for our next segment. And thank you, Will, for joining me.
My pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.